Okay, welcome, Michael, to the Student Athlete Podcast. I'm so excited to have you on, and congratulations for such a successful fall again. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just in Orlando, Florida for a little training block, but yeah, I've been a good fall semester for me, and I'm excited to for the spring.
Wonderful. I want to get straight in and just ask a little bit about your journey and how you got into tennis. So I'm just wondering, when did you first pick up a tennis racket and what drew you to the sport?
Yeah, I was 6 years old, I think, when I first picked up my tennis racket. My dad was the one that started me, kind of at our local high school, just feeding us balls, me and my sister at the same time. And we kind of just went from there at a local high school. And then there was a coach that saw us playing. And then when I was 7 years old, probably, and then we started working with him before going to USTA when I was 9.
What was the USTA campus like for you? I've only played there once and it was absolutely incredible. I've never seen a facility like it before in my life.
Yeah, it was actually it was the one in New York City. They had a program at the where they hold the US Open, the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center.
Mhm.
And I would go there like 3 days a week. Yeah, I mean it's the facilities there are amazing. They have the US Open there, so I mean it's best of the best.
I guess it's not bad. And what were some key moments for you in your journey that led to you playing at such a high level? I read like some articles about you, and you were a very successful junior. You had an incredible career in that area, and you're one of the top recruits in the nation. So, what were some key moments that have led to this point?
Yeah, I mean, I was an okay junior, I think, in like 12s and 14s, and I think I made a pretty big jump in 16s when I won my first national title at the indoor nationals, and that was my first really big tournament that I won up to that point. And I kind of just got a lot of confidence, I think, from winning that tournament. And I was just wasn't sure if my level was able to compete with some of the other top players in the nation. And then after winning that tournament, I just got a lot of confidence in myself, and I feel like I made a pretty big jump from there. And then obviously in my senior year of high school, I decided to do online school to play more ITFs, and then I had a big run at Wimbledon where I made the finals of the junior tournament there, and then kind of from there, I just confidence took off, and I just started playing really well from there, I think.
What was that like making that run at Wimbledon?
Yeah, I mean it was unexpected because I there was a warm-up tournament at Roehampton where, I beat some good players, but at the same time I didn't feel like I was playing so well on grass. So going into Wimbledon, I thought, I was gonna, maybe win one round or two and then just crash out. But it was just unexpected. So it was like a pleasant surprise. I mean, it was the atmosphere there is just it's so different compared to
Mhm.
everywhere else. And I was just kind of an unreal experience making that run.
And is grass your favorite surface now?
I don't think so. I think it's still hard. I mean, I enjoy like the Wimbledon grass, but it's just so different from like every other grass surface that I've played on. And I
Mhm.
only played two tournaments on grass, so I just don't really like playing on grass that much, honestly. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. And did you enjoy England while you were there? Did you take in the culture?
Yeah, I like England a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, the people are super nice and welcoming, and honestly, London's a great area, a
Mhm.
great place. We went downtown, saw it everywhere, and it was a nice place to be.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad you like Britain. We support that.
Yeah.
So, after such a successful run, I'm wondering, was there any thoughts of, okay, I'm going to go pro now, or like you always wanted to play in college?
Yeah, I think it was college was has pretty much been the goal. I just didn't feel like I was ready as a junior, just physically and mentally, and even the game wasn't quite at the level to go pro right away, I think, and just using college as a way to develop physically and mentally and as a player was we just felt like it was the right move, and we didn't really consider going pro right away from juniors.
You say we there. Do you mean you and your family, or who was that was supporting you in this?
Yeah, like me and my family mainly.
Okay, cool. So then what was the recruiting process for you? Like, why Columbia? I bet you had a lot of schools that were trying to get you to sign on that dotted line to play for them. So why Columbia?
Yeah, during my recruiting process, I was talking with actually a lot of schools, but me and my parents and we wanted kind of just the highest level of education as well. That was important for us. And, Columbia kind of checked that box. And, we just felt like it was the right fit. I really liked the head coach, Howie,
Mhm.
during the recruiting process, and I knew a couple guys on the team as well. And I just kind of liked the culture that they built, where there were quite a few guys on the team that were looking to go pro after school, and they were just pushing each other in practices. And I thought, this is the right fit for me.
Amazing. You spoke a little bit there about the culture. So, how has that shaped you into who you are today and your game and your mindset? What was it that made it so special?
Yeah, I think culture is super important, especially in a team environment like college. It's probably like the most important thing where every practice, guys want to get better and improve. So you're pushing each other every practice. And, when times are tough and, you don't want to play or train, having that culture of wanting to be the best you can be and everyone around you pushing you, I think that's what help me improve so much in college, I think.
And what did the coaches and the teammates, did they always kind of see your growth and understand that, this was like a full package for you? You wanted to get the academics and the athletics, but you do want to go pro at the end. Am I correct in saying that? What did they do to try and cater to you in the best way possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year especially, I talked with my coach. I had a talk, after making the finals last
Mhm.
semester. We just felt like to make that next jump to pros, you kind of like proved yourself in college that you're up there with some of the best players. And then now to make that extra jump to the pros, there's a couple things that we had to work on, which was number one was my physicality. So we started going 5 days a week in the gym with our coach, and we kind of had a plan mapped out for this season, and I've been sticking to that, and I feel like it's helped a lot and putting on some weight. And we got two new assistant coaches as well that I enjoy working with, and they've helped me a lot this semester. I've had a lot of privates with them this semester as well, so I've been working with them a lot. And I feel like it's just been a good semester for me, and school has been good as well. So just had a good semester this year, I think.
It's been an incredible semester. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. You've done absolutely amazing. It's been really great, like tracking and seeing how well you've done. You're such a good representation of college tennis. And you mentioned there, like that's a pretty heavy, wow, it's a heavy schedule. 5 times a week in the gym, training on top of that. And you mentioned there about studying, obviously Columbia, Ivy League, the academics won't be light. So I'm just wondering what's it like for you being able to balance the both?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not easy, of course, but I mean, it's not as difficult as a lot of people think it is. It just really depends on your class schedule, what classes you decide to take your major, and of course, like the professor as well. That's also really important. But it's been manageable. You work together with other guys on the team, try to get into some similar classes, and then you help each other on assignments and tests and studying. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy to balance with tennis, just the hours that you play. But you always find a way, which is time management. So it's not too bad.
Would you say that's one of your strongest qualities is time management?
I don't know. I mean, I've been working on it. I feel like it needs to get better, but I
Mhm.
kind of get away with a lot. So it just I just find a ways to get the work done on time. I try
Mhm.
to, and then try to go from there.
And as a psychology major, what made you want to go into that? It's pretty challenging. Mm.
Yeah, not as easy as, maybe some other majors, but I thought I was going to go into econ coming into school. That's
Wow.
what I thought I was going to major in.
Mhm.
And then I think my last fall, I was taking some harder classes and I wasn't doing as well in those classes, and it kind of affected my performance on court as well. So
Mhm.
I decided to go into psychology. We had a few other guys on the team that were psych majors, and I was like, maybe this is the right path for me. And I decided to switch in the spring, and then I think it just been easier for me, honestly,
Mhm.
just not as much math, and it's
Oh,
yeah, it was just easier, I think.
so you struggle with math.
Oh yeah, there was a math class that was difficult that I didn't do so well in. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, look, I'm also absolutely horrendous at math, so I can completely understand you on that. And so you mentioned there as well that there was times where the struggles off the court impacted you on the court. So would you say that there was like how did you distinguish between the two and move past this? And yeah, that's a question I have.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy. I think there's a lot of factors that if you're not solely focused on tennis and there's other distractions, you're not doing well in school, or you have a couple tests that you need to prepare extra hard for that you just feel like you're not ready, just the extra stress and pressure that you put on yourself, I feel like was affecting my performance. Because I didn't have that great of a fall
Mm.
last year. I think I got it going more towards the end of the season in the spring. But yeah, I think when I'm able to do well in the classroom and just kind of clear my mind when I go on court, I think that was super helpful, especially this year and in the spring as well.
Have you been able to like have you had support from your coaches, academic advisors? Like has everyone kind of been on the same page with you and what to expect?
Yeah, pretty much like after last fall, I started working with an academic advisor, talking to our coach. I was having pretty much weekly or every other meeting with an academic advisor every other week. And we kind of just got the schedule going. And then I was having regular checkups with her, making sure I was on track with work. And I feel like that was a big help. And then
Mm.
I meet with her every now and then, not as much this semester, but I was working with her to come up with my class schedule. And I feel like that's helped a lot with just encore and keeping my mind able to focus on tennis.
Hmm. So would you have any advice for any players currently in college or incoming about how to just get the best out of yourself in this situation?
Yeah, I think it's always helpful to work with a coach. How he's done this. Our head coach has done this a
Mm.
long time. He knows, what professors, most of the professors that in most classes that are, more challenging and not as challenging, and when to take harder classes and when not to, what makes the most sense. And obviously, working with your academic advisor is also helpful, I think, as well.
Okay, yeah, brilliant. So, touching again on your training, what has been the most challenging part of training at this level, and how do you overcome it and again bring the best out of yourself and the team?
Yeah, I think it's never easy. It's you're playing a lot of tennis pretty much every day, and it's easy to get burnt out a little bit. You're feeling
Mhm.
not so motivated all the time, especially after, you go and you have a tough loss over the weekend or you're in a tournament, you lose, and then just kind of find that motivation when you're not feeling. And I think a lot of that just goes back to the culture and, how the coach develops a culture on the team and how motivated players are to want to succeed in the spring during dual match play. And I feel like Howie's done a great job here, where even if you're not feeling motivated, he's going to go out there and push you and make you give your 100%, 110% on every practice. And your teammates are also keeping you accountable. So I feel like that's what helped me a lot.
You mentioned they're burnt out. Have you suffered from that at all?
I mean, every now and then it's just
Mm.
you just feel like I don't want to go practice or yeah, I mean, of course, it happens like,
Hmm.
every now and then. I enjoy playing tennis a lot, but at the same time, sometimes it's too much and then
Hmm.
you just want to break a little bit, but and then you reset after a couple days and then it's all good from there.
I mean, what does your schedule look like if you had with classes and practice? What's like a day in the life or a week in the life of Michael?
Yeah, so I would say I have classes
Mm.
Monday to Friday and Monday, Wednesday. Monday I have a discussion section, so I only meet once a week, from 9:10 to 10.
Mm.
And then, we lift Monday, Wednesday in the morning, so 6:50 lift, and then we'll go from 6:50 to about 8:20 or
Mm.
8:30, and then I'll get some food, get some breakfast, and then go to class. And then after class, I go straight to our facility because our facility isn't directly on campus. We have to take a shuttle there.
Mhm.
So it's like a 15-20 minute shuttle ride. And then I'll go there to practice. And then I'll come back. I mean, I don't have class until 6:10 p.m.
Mhm.
on Monday and Wednesday. So I'll be there. If I do one session, I'll do a little bit longer session, or I'll do two sessions, and then maybe some private work in the afternoon if I do two sessions. And then I'll be back before my 6:10 class. And then I'll go to class there and then just do whatever work I need to after class on Monday and Wednesday. And then Tuesday, Thursday is a little bit different. It's more team. Monday and Wednesday is more like individual because people are coming in at different times because of their class schedule. And then Tuesday, Thursday, everyone comes in at around 3:15 for like team group practice, and we'll play a lot of points on Tuesday and Thursday. And yeah, I mean, I have class from actually Tuesday, Thursday, I have class from like 8:40 to 2:25 straight almost.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I'll take like a 2:40 bus usually to practice, and then practice from usually like 3 to maybe 6-ish, and then we'll take the bus back. Everyone usually takes the same bus back, and then we usually eat together at the dining hall, and then you get to do some work, and then you just get ready for the next day. And
Mm-hmm.
then Friday, Saturday is a little more flexible. I only have one class on Friday, Spanish class. That's 11:40 to 12:55, and then I'll just go to practice after that. And then usually have a little more flexibility in time on the weekends.
That's heavy. I'll be honest with you, that's
Yeah,
a heavy
yeah,
dude.
certain days more than others. Yeah.
Going back to again, like with being burnt out, is there anything in particular like your coaches or teammates do that can like snap you out of the mood? Because I've had it as well. Like playing sometimes just like, oh, like this is long. I'm not really that bothered right now. I'm pretty tired. But sometimes for me it was just like seeing my teammates and having a laugh and then be like, okay, this is fun. For me to snap out of it. Do you have anything that's like kind of similar?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I compete. I think competing with my teammates a lot in practice. I don't want to lose to them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just like the next day when we go to practice, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling tired and everything, but at the same time, they're talking a little bit of trash, and I'm I don't want to I can't lose to these guys. So, I just just compete that hard that day, and then it's fine from there, I think.
Do you talk trash as well?
Yeah, I would say in practice I do. Yeah.
Who's the best person for it? Would you say you're the best one for talking trash?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, none of them can usually beat me in trash talk.
That's okay. You can be a winner at that stuff as well. So that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And when you play, do you have any specific routines or strategies that have been crucial to your success on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working a lot on serve stuff. We pretty much try to get a basket of serving at the end of every practice, and I feel like that's helped me, especially in the NCAA run as well. Just in big moments, my serve really bailed me out,
Mhm.
and that's just something I've been working on with our coaches. And then, of course, we always try to get some feeds after practice as well. But yeah.
Amazing. And then for these big moments that you're experiencing and with all the success you've achieved, like how do you mentally prepare for your big matches and what does your preparation look like for this sort of competing?
Yeah, I mean, for the big tournaments, you always try to peak at the right moment. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that. Just in general, even in juniors, just making sure like the tournament scheduling this fall, I didn't play as many events as some of the other players did. And I was just focusing on practicing and just cleaning up some stuff in my game so I could peak at the right moment. And I feel like we did a good job this year. And I think last year as well, before NCAAs and the team and individuals.
Oh. When you say peak at the right moment, what do you necessarily mean?
So like if I'm not playing as well early
Mhm.
on in the season, I might go and play a few extra matches just to get that match toughness.
Mhm.
But I felt like I was playing quite well early on in the fall. So I didn't really feel the need. Obviously we discussed it with our coaches, but I didn't really feel the need to play as many. I could have decided to play a few more tournaments. But we felt like it just made more sense to just stay and practice at our facility at
Mhm.
Columbia. And it was just being able to bring out the level that I wanted to at the tournament instead of feeling super tired from playing a lot of matches and then
Mhm.
going there and not doing quite as well.
Mhm. And you spoke about match toughness there. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm at my best when I'm playing the big moments the way I want to. I'm making a lot of first serve under pressure. Obviously, there's no ad points in college, so
Mhm.
if I can make my first serves on those deuce points, it's a huge help. And just I think when I'm able to use my patterns and feeling confident going for my shots, I feel like that's when I've played just the right amount of matches and I just feel comfortable on court.
And with the success that you've achieved, do you feel pressure? Has it changed for you at all, your mindset?
I mean, there's always pressure,
Mhm.
even in not so big events. You always want to you're trying your best to win. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, it's a game. So
Mhm.
you're trying to figure out ways to win. And of course, there's always pressure before every match you play, but at the same time, I just trust the amount of preparation and practice that I've played. So it just gives you peace of mind that even if I lose this match, I, did everything. Either my opponent was much better than me this day, or I just came out a little bit flat, which happens. And I just trust that the amount of preparation I've had. those days will
Mhm.
be like fewer and fewer, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, I suppose my big question is, do you feel pressure, Michael? It sounds like you're ice cold right now.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel pressure. I just try not to show it externally, but last year's before the finals, I was so nervous. I think probably more nervous than, any other match that I've been in. And this year, that kind of experience that helped this year, because I knew when I played Ozan going into the finals was going to be
Mhm.
super nervous as well, just based on my experience from last year. And then I was able to just keep a little more cool. I think that's really helped in that finals this year.
Are you able to play through the nerves? Like, what gets you to that point where you can relax?
Yeah, I think the nerves for me is a lot of it's just like right before the match, after you finished your warm up on court, and there's this like 10-15 minute window where you're just preparing your drinks and everything, where you're feeling super nervous. And then usually when you get on court, maybe it lasts for one game, and then once you step on and you start playing, the nerves kind of go away. You're just more focused on
Mhm.
trying to win and what's working, what's not.
Do you have a pre-match ritual to help with all this?
Not especially. I mean, I was I was during the tournament, I would, try to warm up an hour before my match, and then we get 30-40 minutes on court, and then I had this drink routine that I would do. I would just prepare my drinks and then listen to some music maybe, and then do a quick dynamic warm up before I went on.
Hmm.
But nothing, I wouldn't say like anything like super special. I just try to clear my mind and then just
Hmm.
focus on the match at hand.
When you say prepare your drinks, we're doing like Rafa sort of situation. You have to like systematically put them in a place. If that's ruined, you're gone. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of superstition going into it. I was trying to do the same order, my powder and then the electrolytes,
Mm-hmm.
which bottle to fill first and all this. Especially after your first match, you win your first match, you have to do like everything the exact same way.
Hmm.
Eat the same place for like lunch and then dinner, and then we were kind of doing that all week.
So you're a big superstition guy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like it's a tennis player thing. Just most
Hmm.
tennis players have a lot of superstitions. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty superstitious.
Have you always been like that?
I mean, as far as I can remember, I think so. I was think oh like there's always this thought in my mind, like even during the Wimbledon run, I was eating the same breakfast every day. It's like same number of croissants, same like pieces of bacon and cucumbers, like the exact same thing the entire week. And I was like, if I, change something, I'm gonna lose my match. So it's just like always in the
Mhm.
back of your mind.
So let me get this right. So your breakfast was a croissant, bacon, and cucumber.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe
Wow.
two croissants. I had like a couple slices of like ham,
Mm-hmm.
and just like maybe 3 or 4 cucumbers. I can't remember the exact number now, but I would get the exact same thing every day.
Is that a normal breakfast for you? I've never heard of that combination before. I'll be honest with you. That's an interesting one. Was it because you're in England? You had to try some of the
N
English food, or?
Not really. I mean, they had like a buffet there, and then it was like pretty good, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after I don't know why I decided to eat that on the first day, but after I had that and I won the match, I was like, I have to keep the routine the exact same. So I
It's
just
a
kept
winning
eating.
combination, so I can't blame you.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. So, what has been your most memorable match so far in college, and why does it stand out for you?
Most memorable. I think it's probably the match. I mean, just against Ozan in the
Hmm.
finals. I just the importance I think on that match. After coming so close last semester and just finally get it done, I thought that was probably the biggest match I think I've played in college.
And with the setbacks, like you said last year, coming so close and tough losses, how do you use them to grow as a player?
Yeah, I think you always learn more from your losses generally,
Hmm.
compared to the wins, and then they always sting a little bit more. So you kind of get hung up on them a little bit, but it's always good to. I always try to journal after a loss, about things to improve on, and what I can do better. But yeah, I mean, using it's just good motivation, I think,
Hmm.
to that there's always better players out there, and you better players on better days, and then, what can you do to minimize that and try to win next time you play them?
Mm. So if you had to describe so far, what would be the recipe for success for Michael? What would you say has helped you get to this point and has helped to credit you to being the player that you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's just the people that you surround yourself with,
Mm,
and as long as they want the best for you. My dad, my parents, my coach, they all just want the best for me. They're figuring out ways how to get to the place that I want to be, which is obviously playing at a high level professionally,
mm,
and just having surround yourself with the right people, and then being disciplined and doing the work and being coachable, listening to the advice they give. And I think that's what's helped me a lot.
mm. And on this journey so far in college, like why has it been so helpful for you? Like why would you recommend it to others or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I think college is I think it's kind of proven that you can go from college to make it to the pros. Jake Fernley in like six
Mm,
months is just top 100 now. He's
mm,
gonna break the top 50 after this spring, I think.
mm,
And you have Nishesh going from Stanford. There's just so many players, Ben Shelton, there's so many players that have made that jump from college. And I think, there's just no reason not to. If you're not already, top 200 or you're not physically ready, doesn't make sense. The level in college is so high. Players are doing well in challengers consistently that are still in college. And it just doesn't make sense to make that jump to pros from juniors when there's such a good option, such as
mm.
college, to help you develop.
Nicely said. Do you think for you, did you struggle with coming from obviously tennis is such an individual sport to now being in that team environment? Or was it a tough adjustment, or did you automatically buy into the team culture and this is what we're going to do to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy at first. Obviously, you're playing tennis is just such an individual sport up to that point. But I had experience in high school where I played for my high school tennis team.
Mhm.
And, always enjoy playing for a team. It's just you're playing for something a little more than yourself. And there's just that little extra bit of pressure. And it really comes down to, who handles that pressure a little bit better, I think, in college. And I always enjoyed that and playing for the team and trying to win for your team. And you just see the work that you've put in and the guys around you have put in, and it's just you want to win for them, and that kind of helps you put that little extra bit, and you're competing in your matches.
Did you have good seniors when you came in or juniors that helped you fit into that, or did you just automatically come to you?
Yeah, actually, my freshman year, I think we only had one senior, but we had quite a few juniors that kind of set the tone and, built this culture. A lot of them actually didn't really get to experience the seniors before them because the Ivies, they had their season canceled for 2 years
Mm,
because of COVID. There
mm,
was only one guy, Alex Kotzen, on our team who
mm,
got a chance his freshman year to spend some time with the seniors,
mm.
and he kind of helped a lot with the culture and just showing guys, this is how it's supposed to be done. And I thought we did a good job in practice of pushing each other and competing really hard. And it was just I was like kind of shocked at the culture they built, and it was just so different from what you're used to in juniors, and it just helped me push a little bit more and practice every day.
You say shocked. How did it shock you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just different when you're competing against kind of the same guys
Mm,
every day, and they're trying hard to beat you, and you want to beat them. Sometimes you're competitive, so you're kind of talking your trash, and you're yelling at each other in the sets, and I think that's honestly a good thing.
mm,
It's not something you're used to. Maybe in like practicing in juniors, you're more quiet and stuff, but
mm,
everyone's encouraging each other. Just the energy is so high. You're always shouting, let's go Lions, let's go
mm.
Columbia. People are just the energy is always so high in college compared to just a regular training block. When you're in juniors, it's more quiet, and just the energy was just so different, I thought.
Were you not allowed junior? Were you pretty subdued?
Yeah, I'm pretty quiet. Even like in college, I try not to yell too much. I think I yell way more in practice. Um, but yeah, I would say I'm more on the quiet side for sure.
And have they managed to bring that out of you? I think that's something that makes like college so unique and so special is that energy and that atmosphere you can create as a team and you like really egging each other on. You can't really compare it to anything else if I'm being honest, like on a competitive scale that I've seen for tennis. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think just the energy is just such an important part of dual matches and just the
Hmm.
crowd. We always usually get a pretty good crowd for our home matches, and just feeding off the crowd and your teammates is just something that's so different. I mean, I
Do you
think our
talk to the
coaches.
crowd?
Yeah, I actually enjoy playing in front of the crowd. It's always they always bring good energy.
That's awesome. And what has been some of the most memorable moments that you've shared with the team and being at Columbia?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really good time at Columbia. I always enjoy spending together, t time together with my teammates, and then we always go out to get food a lot. And I mean, I think a special memory has to be when we made the Elite Eight for the first time last semester, and it was just a special moment. We beat a really tough Arizona team. It's like so close, like 4-3. Came down to Hugo. I think number five. It was 3-all matches. We're all standing on the sidelines. Everyone's super nervous and obviously wanting him to win really badly. And then that final moment when he won, it was just the energy was so. It was just like unbelievable. Everyone was like relief, and
Mhm.
like you're just so happy for the team to go that far. And then yeah, and we got a special match also. It was so close against Ohio State as well on the final
Mhm.
sites. I mean, there's like quite a few moments, but I think that was probably the highlight.
What's been your toughest like dual match? Because am I correct in saying that it's Columbia and Harvard have a pretty tense rivalry? Is that right?
Yeah, I would say there have been a couple really tough ones against Harvard.
Mhm.
I mean, my freshman year, we lost. Actually, we didn't get the Ivy title. We lost to Harvard
Mhm.
4-3, and that was a tough one because I was playing one, and I was playing Henry von der Schulenburg, and it was I was up big time. I was up a set and 4-0, I think. And I ended up losing the match, and that was a tough one for me. I mean, if I won the
Mhm.
match, we would have won the Ivies
Mhm.
that year, and I ended up losing. And then we lost the title. Harvard won that title that year, and we actually lost to them again in indoors when we hosted
Mhm.
in the spring. So that was first round. We just somehow drew Harvard national indoors, and then we lost a close one to them as well, and I lost a tough one to
Mhm.
Cooper. And then we got him back during the season during Ivies. I think we beat him 4-1 or 4-2, and that was a good match. And yeah, it's usually a pretty big rivalry between us and Harvard.
What's the atmosphere like? Is it pretty electric when you play these big matches?
Yeah, it's our facility is usually packed. We just got a new facility,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was during indoors. It was fully packed. You had actually quite a few Harvard supporters as well. I think just alums that were working in the city. They had a pretty good crowd, and it was like so many people and so loud. That the energy was crazy.
Do you thrive off of that?
Yeah, I actually do like that when you have like a big crowd. And I would say my like first experience with having a big crowd is probably Wimbledon finals where
Mm.
we played on court one, and then there were so many people. I was like shocked that they would come to watch junior final like that. But it was yeah, I mean I do enjoy playing, feeding off the energy from the crowd.
Amazing. I'm so glad to hear. I think again, it's just so special to experience that and it makes college so much fun and it sounds like you had an electric crowd there and you get a good amount of people that come out to support you guys. So that makes it all the more fun, most definitely. So I have a few quick fire questions now. Are you ready, Michael?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, ready. What was your favorite hobby to do outside of tennis?
Play poker, I think.
Okay, are you good at it?
I honestly picked it up in college, and I had a lot of fun. We had like a friend group that would play it quite often, and yeah, I mean
Mhm.
I think towards the end I got better.
Okay. And what's a song that pumps you up?
Ooh, that's tough. I
Mm.
would say right now Danielle by Fred again. Like
Oh,
yeah, I got into EDM in college, so that's probably one of my favorite songs. I think it was my most number one played on Spotify.
is EDM a big thing in Colombia?
I think so. There's a, I mean, I think the seniors and my roommate introduced it to me, so it's pretty big, I would say.
We like Fred again. I can get with you on that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot on campus?
Uh, I think it's, I think it has to be the lawns or in
Mm,
front of Butler Library where you can see the, or the low steps in front
mm,
of the low library where you can see pretty much like all of campus and it just the view is just unbelievable.
Okay. And who is your dream doubles partner?
Ooh, is this including like professional players as
Could
well?
be anyone. Mm,
Right, it's probably Roger Federer, I think. Just he was my idol growing up, and I would love to get on court with him.
mm. Best advice you've ever received?
Uh, these are tough questions. I would say our coach, uh, he has a saying, "We want things to go wrong." And I think that was something that kind of clicked with me. And yeah, that was just a funny thing we always say all the time.
What does he mean by that? That's a really interesting one.
Yeah, so basically, he always says, we want things to go wrong, and then so you're prepared in case they do. You're always prepared for pretty much the worst case, and then if they happen to go well, perfect, you're ready for that as well.
Mm.
But it's just the way that you prepare yourself. You're always preparing for the worst case scenario. So when it comes, you're generally more ready compared to maybe some other people.
How can you prepare for the worst case?
You just train as hard. I mean, it's different. Of course, we're playing tennis, so
Mm.
you're preparing. You're always like playing. He's saying like he always says feelings like don't matter. So, so you want things to go wrong, and like feelings don't matter. So it doesn't matter how you're feeling, how you're hitting the ball, in practice or in matches. You always go out there expecting to feel the ball terribly, and then
Mm.
if you're on one of those days where you're seeing the ball well and hitting well, great. But most of the time, 99% of the matches that you play, you're gonna be out there not feeling the ball well. And so in practice, he just pushes you hard and he just says, if you're complaining one practice, he just yells at you. Feelings don't matter, or you want things to go wrong. So it's a funny thing.
And that's always resonated with you that feelings don't matter.
Yeah, I think that's something that's helped me a lot. I used to get in my head a lot about
Mm.
how I was playing on court and how I felt hitting the ball. And then, once I truly bought into like what he was saying, this like, we want things to go wrong and feelings don't matter. It was like, even when I'm not playing my best or things are going like completely wrong on court, my opponent's playing really well. It just
Mm.
like, you're able to have a little bit of that confidence in yourself that, you can bring the match back, just from your preparation and practice, and you're just ready to just compete and leave it all out there.
I like that. I like that. I like the explanation as well. That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. I like that feelings don't matter. So I'll try and memorize that as well. So
Yeah.
we have a question from the previous pod. She wanted to know what surprised you most in your first year outside of college tennis?
Outside of college tennis, I would just say, honestly, I wasn't ready for the amount of freedom that you had from college. You're kind of just doing everything by yourself, and
Mhm.
you weren't ready for just, you're with your teammates, you're trying to figure everything out. You're not with your parents anymore. And you can just do kind of whatever you want. And it was just that level of freedom that I wasn't really expecting going into college. And it's just like, sometimes it's good for people, sometimes not. And, I felt like it took a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to that, I thought it was, college is some of the most fun that I've had.
Mhm. Nice. Okay. And what would your question be for the next guest?
Oh.
Let's go.
Oh,
You got this.
Uh, hmm. It can be like any type
Be
of question.
anything. Absolutely anything.
Uh, is the next guest going to be a tennis player as well?
Yeah, a college
Okay.
athlete. Well,
Uh,
could have gone on, but has played college tennis, yes, I should say.
I guess it would be what? Not preparation, I guess. This is hard. What's a book that they like reading? What's like their favorite book, I would say.
Your favorite book? That's a good one. We've not gone down this route before,
Yeah.
so I like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
just committed myself. I was thinking, I was spending too much time on my phone.
Mm.
So I was talking with my teammates and they're like, yeah, this is the phone. Like our coach like hates the phones. He says it's like a poison for the mind. So it's like, I need to find something to do in my free time. So actually last night I bought like 10 books. I committed to myself. I'm like, I'm gonna read 10 books like next semester, finish 10 books. So it's like that's why it just like came to my mind.
That's a good one. I like that. I mean, what books did you order? Have you got a particular genre that you're into or?
I had a little bit, I did some like economic stuff, and then there's some motivational stuff and discipline books like Atomic Habits.
Hmm.
And there's some like other classics that I want to read as well.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay, perfect. All right, well, Michael, I'm all out of questions to ask you. Thank you so much for coming on. You've been great to talk to, and it's been great to hear about your college experience and your time playing tennis. It was really, really interesting, and I think you're doing an amazing job, by the way.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I had
Okay.
a good time as well. Thank you, Abby.